What's up, everybody? I'm back. Trad West Podcast, back with another video. Sorry if you've been missing me. Not many of you. Don't have many subscribers yet. But for those of you who have subscribed and been looking forward to the content, was on vacation, came back, need a little time to rewind, get back into the flow of work and everything. And we're back at it this weekend. So, gonna be making a few videos. Little teaser, maybe some controversial videos this weekend. I mean, this one, I might say some controversial stuff, but we're going to react to Megyn Kelly's video on young men not wanting to date women that work, yada, yada, yada. But teaser. But before, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. It's free. It's free. And if you want to comment on videos I make, just to keep me in the algorithm, a simple like for the algo in the comment section. It's what I do for some of my favorite YouTubers that aren't necessarily getting the recognition that they deserve. Unfortunately, especially on YouTube, the shit I talk about is not going to get pushed unless people are really, really liking and commenting. So I'm trying to focus more on Rumble, but you post it to both just because it's there. So whatever. But let me share this real quick and we will react. I only saw clips, so this is like a bigger video. So I haven't fully saw the entire video, but we're going to react after. This is Megyn Kelly talking about how young men aren't interested in like women that work, basically. But I'll let it play and then I'll talk about it.
Happening on the right. Young women, I talk to young conservative women all the time about their lives and their goals and, the things that they want. And what's happening is they can't find men who are maybe more conservative. Usually they're looking for somebody who is religious, like a lot of conservative women tend to be God loving conservatives. And they can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now. This is an actual problem that's coming up on the right. And to me, it's so sad because it's like, how did we get to the point where we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women that they're not attractive if they also work, if they choose to, let's say, do what I'm doing and what you're doing and like get their voice out there. But I'll stick with me just because I think conservatives listening to this will like the thought of another Megyn Kelly voice up and coming. Well, why wouldn't we want that? Why would we take somebody who's talented in this field and really wants to make a difference and have the messaging to her be, you're really not that valuable unless you give it up and go into the home and only have a family and only raise a family. And not only are we sending her that message, but young men are actually believing that. They're actually believing it, especially on the right, because like the trad mom has gotten so popular. And it's like, no, if we do that, we're not going to have any strong conservative or right-leaning women to provide a role model for younger conservative women who, and there's nothing to apologize for here, don't necessarily want to spend all their 20s and their 30s getting married and having kids, or can't. They just weren't able to meet somebody and definitely don't need to be shamed over it.
I'm going to have a lot to say about this. So, as I like to call them all out on Twitter, now X, there are so many fake conservative women, trad women, conservative women on Twitter and X, and they do it for the likes, but inevitably they still post thirst traps of themselves in bikinis showing cleavage. And I'm sorry, like I've said numerous times on this channel, I'm not a conservative, but these women LARP as conservatives. There's nothing conservative about you, Christian conservative on top of it, when they're showing they're sexualizing themselves to some degree just to get clout on the internet and followers. Now, what Megyn Kelly's talking about here, I don't think men are against women working. Don't care if you have a job. But yes, we are against women prioritizing their job and career over family. AKA, we get married, we have children, and your number one priority is still your job and career. Sorry, once you have kids, and I don't have them yet. So this is what's ridiculous. I understand it more than a lot of these fucking fake conservative feminists who have children. Once you have children, it's all about the kids. You need to make sacrifices. That is one of my main purposes of the channel I created. Nuclear family, 2-parent households. Your kids are far better off. The statistics show even if you're in a household where the parents don't really get along and don't talk to each other and don't like each other, still way better off than being raised in a single parent household. But we've taught women to only care about their own happiness. Oh, I'm not happy. The number one reason for divorce, irreconcilable differences. What the fuck does that mean? No. It's not sunshine and rainbows 24/7. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna have bad days. But once you have kids in the equation, it should be about the kids. You can forgo some of your temporary happiness for the sake of your children. So Megyn Kelly, shut the fuck up. She's in like some dispute with Matt Walsh right now on this topic. So first and foremost, as I said, it's not, oh, we don't want women working and they shouldn't be allowed to work. No, it's modern women are now prioritizing their job and career over their family. Women should be able to work. I don't care if they work. They should, but if they have kids, it should be electively and not at the cost of, daycare, babysitters. You're paying a ridiculous amount of money to have your children sent off to strangers and molded by strangers, not at the detriment of your children. They're better off with a parent in the household. And hey, I'm even willing, as I said, this isn't exactly trad, but it's modernity, 2025. If the woman wants to be a boss babe and work, and she's making enough, aka most likely 6 figures, to provide for the family, I'll be a stay-at-home dad. Okay? I will be a stay-at-home dad if you want to go out there in the workforce and you cannot be bothered to raise our children. But the fact of the matter is, most women that want to focus on their career, they're barely even making any fucking money. If you can't support the family, guess what? Stay at home. Raise the kids. I'll be a stay-at-home dad, but you're not going to like it? You'll break up with me because I'm a bum staying at home? Or you don't make enough to provide for the family. They want to have their fucking stupid jobs that they have fun at, but it doesn't make enough money to provide or pay off their student fucking loan debt. And we can go into that whole fucking conversation. But let me get more on Megyn Kelly before I go on. Megyn Kelly is working a job where what I'm doing right now, literally doing this from the comfort of my own home. Yeah, the equipment cost a little bit of money. She has a lot more money than me. So she can fucking soundproof her whole fucking room. She could do this from the privacy of her own home if she wanted to. So she could raise a family while also working, doing her job. Speaking to the majority of women who would be in the workforce, they are not just sitting behind a fucking camera speaking into a microphone like you, Megyn Kelly. Okay? They're slaving away at some corporate fucking job, being bossed around by another dude, but it's misogynistic and dictatorship to be working in their own home, supporting their kids and their husband that they love, apparently. Apparently not, because they view that as ruthless dictatorship. So, come on now. The common sense and logic defeat any feminist argument you can throw at it. And again, I feel like I come at it from like an pretty like open perspective, a more modern perspective. I don't com- I like shitting on feminism, but I don't like say there's no place for feminism. If you're a woman who doesn't want kids at all, doesn't want a family and kids, feminism is for you. Go out there and be a boss babe, make money, and even like if you want to get married, but neither of you want kids, whatever. You both can make money. Feminism is not the friend of a woman who wants to have a family. When kids get involved in the equation, sacrifices need to be made on behalf of the children. And there are too many. I have personal friends that have told me, I don't get it. She's like all about, this isn't going to further my career. This is going to further my career. You have fucking kids now. Fuck your career. Until the kids get older. And it only makes sense to tell women, if they want a family, to do that earlier on. Because this video is going to go longer than I planned on now, because now I'm just going to talk to the basics of what men and women find attractive. And women cannot seem to grasp this. Men and women find different things attractive. Women look for men who have a higher education, status, money, like good paying job. Men don't look for that in women. And that's where feminism has lied to women. Look, for most men at least that got their shit together, we don't care about your education. We don't care about your career. What do we care about? Your looks. Sorry. Men are shallow in that way. I'm not going to apologize. I asked you out based on your physical appearance. It shouldn't be an issue that I'm expecting you to somewhat keep your physical appearance. That was mainly what I asked you out based on. I didn't know you. I asked you out because I found you attractive. And then there were more stuff added on as I got to know you, which made you the prime candidate that made me propose to you, other than these other women. But the physical attraction is what brought me to the table. So look good. Women, you just have to look good. And most of you, at an early age at least, don't even have to try at that. You just look good. And then you tie in things like, okay, you know how to cook, clean, da-da-da-da. That should be basic shit that everybody should know. Not even saying that just for women. I get cringed out at men in the manosphere that act, oh, you're gay if you know how to cook. Nah, fuck. Everybody who's a fucking adult should know how to cook and clean. So I'm just saying everyone at a baseline should know how to do that. But surprisingly, a lot of modern women don't know how to fucking do it. And that should be one of your main duties if you want to be a wife and a mother. So be attractive, know how to do the basic shit around the house, and don't be argumentative. Don't cause drama. Don't cause fights when I come home from work. I don't work that like difficult of a job these days. But let's say a guy fucking works 12-hour shifts, 12 hours a day. Because I used to work 12s, although it was paying him on schedule. So it was still like, didn't care. But still, I was working 12-hour shifts. If I had to work a 12-hour shift, I was going to come home. All right. I just want to sit down and relax, have a beer. Then I got a wife yelling at me. I've been doing the chores all week. Why don't you take out the trash? Fuck no. Who's paying the bills? Can't I relax for a minute? Like, no. And it's very nuanced. This isn't the relationship dynamics of everybody. But feminists just always like, no, girls should not have to just do the house chores. Every relationship's different. But if I'm working all day and you're at home, yeah, I better not have to do the fucking house chores. But this shit right here, Megyn Kelly works a job where she's just sitting behind a fucking camera, being recorded. And thanks. Whoa, men should date women who work and care about their careers. Again, it's not the fact that they have a job. I think women should work electively. As in, as long as it's not going to hinder the development of the child, we're not sending the child off to be molded by strangers. And it's not, there's a cost benefit analysis here. If you're only making $40,000-$50,000 a year, and then we have to send our kids away to be watched, and that's $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Some of these daycares are ridiculous. It's not worth it. Just stay home and watch the fucking kids. Or, coming at you, modernity. I'm willing to stay at home if you make more than me. But most women aren't down for that, or they're not making enough. So, to you, Megyn Kelly, no, you shouldn't be promoting this to women across the board. Because it's not the fact that you can't work. It's the fact that you shouldn't prioritize the career and work over your children and your family. And when you tell women to straight out of high school, go into college, then focus on a career, you're just handicapping them. Because they're going into debt now. And from what we've witnessed, most of them are getting a degree which isn't helping them get a job that's even going to pay off the debt that they got into. So, this is all big of the part plan, okay? It's all part of the plan. That's where my tinfoil hat comes on. This has all been planned. They don't want people having kids. They don't want the nuclear family. For whatever reason, blame whoever you want. I won't go down that rabbit hole of who's responsible for it. All I know is our government has been doing shit to set up a system that doesn't incentivize family making. Because if you're making a woman go into college debt, let's say minimum $50,000, because that's pretty mild for a lot of the college debt. $50,000 plus in debt. Now, she's either at least going to postpone the family because she's got to pay bills, or she ain't going to get picked because what's a dude going to pick? If he's a single guy and he's really just playing out the scenarios in his mind. Do I want 25-year-old girl with $50,000+ worth of debt, or 22-year-old girl? She didn't go to college. She's just working. She doesn't have any debt. She just works at Target, let's say. But good-looking girl, in shape. Yeah, guess what, women? Guys don't care about your education or your future career. She looks good, and she's got no debt. That's what a majority of the guys are going to pick. So that's where I agree with the red pill community. Sorry, but Megyn Kelly and women like this spreading this shit, it's bullshit. And they speak in a comfort of a job where they literally just have to have a camera and a microphone, computer. Yeah, well, if every woman was doing this as their job, yeah, we could justify it. You could be watching your kids, they take a nap, come up here and record a fucking episode. That's not the logistics of most women. So, I end with just this. Women can work. Not saying women can't work. But if you're focusing on your job and career, over your husband and children, then you fucked up. Then you fucked up and you're selfish, and that's what feminism is. It's selfish. Like, they sit here and act like men are keeping women down because men can work, and they're telling women they have to stay in the home and not work. Do you think I want to work? Most men probably hate their fucking jobs. They do it to protect and provide for their family, pay the bills, put food on the table. They don't want to work. They don't want to do the job they're doing. But society has somehow demonized men working and wanting women to stay at the home and provide for the kids, raise the kids, as you're keeping her down. Motherfucker, like I said, I will gladly be a stay-at-home dad. You go fucking out there in the workforce and make the money. Not happening. Most women don't want to do it. And then they view you as some ruthless dictator who gets to go out there and work while I have to stay home. Most men do not like their jobs, and they're only doing it for you and the children. So, we'll end this one here. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe at TradWest Podcast on all platforms. I got some spicy content coming out this weekend. I don't remember if I said it in the beginning, but Social Security, that's going to be the podcast episode. This is just a video. The podcast episode is going to be Social Security, and it's going to be it's going to piss people off on all sides. It's a Ponzi scheme. That's what I'll just say. It's a Ponzi scheme. Social Security. I'm going to piss people off on all sides. I shouldn't be paying into it. That's how I view it. But I'm going to go into a deep dive on that. Maybe next week. I might save that one for next week as well. I'm going to do one on single motherhood. And then I got some other stuff coming out. Tariffs, whatnot. But wanted to make this one, pop it out. It's a Saturday. I'm about to go start the smoker, drink some beer. If you haven't had it, did I bring a can up here? I didn't bring a can up here. I got some of Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer, brother. I found that at a local liquor store. I was like, oh, I got to grab this. It's basically a Bud Light. But it's got a really cool can. American flag, Hulk Hogan, flexing. So, get you some Real American Beer, brother. But until next time, TradWest Podcast out.